Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about shame and guilt. How to overcome shame and how to overcome, guilt, stuff like that. So, um, yeah, this morning I was kind of thinking about a topic to discuss, and I basically said, asked my soul what what it wanted me to talk about today, and it came up with the idea of shame and guilt. So here I am talking about shame and guilt. So this is actually something that I've struggled with a lot in my life. Um, yeah, the first 20 years, 20 no, the first the first 30 years of my life were spent in miserable, shame and guilt and all kinds of stuff like that. And really, almost to the point of being suicidal, but thankfully it never got there. Yeah, and basically I decided to and basically it was a slow suicide. Basically I was killing myself by not taking care of myself and neglecting myself, and it was really bad. So I lived like that for the vast majority of my life. It wasn't until the last 3 months, or sorry, it wasn't until the last 8 months or so, 9 months, I think, um, until I started doing this stuff that I now teach, self transformation challenge, that really changed my life, guys. Um, it was, it's a program that like involves Kundalini yoga and meditation and qigong, and yeah, it really did change my life in a variety of ways. You can see my video about how it changed my life in on my YouTube channel. If you go there, uh, and click on the YouTube channel down below. So let's talk about shame and guilt. So, what is shame? Shame, well, when we feel shame, we feel guilty about being ourselves, basically. Like there's something wrong with us, inherently wrong with us. There's something inherently wrong with just simply being you. And yeah, I can definitely relate to that. Um, and so, if you're going through depression, and if you're going through shame, something, depression caused by shame or not being able to just be yourself, I've been there, and it's rough, but I'm here to tell you that there is hope, and you can get through it. And one way to do that is by, going here and doing the self transformation challenge. I don't teach this stuff just to teach it. Like it's powerful stuff. It'll change your life. I know it has for me. But anyway, on to what we're talking about today. So yeah, it's like feeling guilty about being ourselves. It's like there's something wrong with something simply being you. It's just inherently like being you is wrong. Feeling that way is, basically shame. Or 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 it's like there's something bad about being your authentic self. Something wrong with just being you. Inherently, like your essence, like there's something bad about being about your very essence. Um, and so yeah, it's a really difficult thing to go through. But later in the video, we'll talk about how to do that. Got something in my eye. Okay, so yeah, so so shame is really hard, and as someone who's gone through it myself, I'm here to tell you that there's nothing wrong with you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. Nothing at all. And it's actually good to be your authentic self. It's good to be you. It's good to be unapologetically you, you know. Because there's only one you. And, you know, if you hide your own light, then the world is missing out on the great gift that you have brought to the world. You know, it's yeah. I mean, I think about people who have actually committed suicide and things like that, and it's just sad because um you know, they had each of us has our own unique abilities, gifts, talents, things like that that we come here to share with the world. And so when we commit suicide, when we end our own lives, um it we're basically robbing the world of the gift that we were sent here to give the world. Makes sense? So um yeah, um so yeah, there's nothing inherently wrong with you, and it's good to be yourself. It's good to be your authentic self. And like um I know like people might, you know, might not support you in that, but you know that's that has nothing to do with you. That's their problem. If they don't support you with in being yourself, then that means that they're not comfortable with being who they are, with, you know, with their abilities, talents, and gifts. And so this is a powerful message, guys. You know, so it's good to be yourself. Be unapologetically yourself. And you know, if you're saying I just can't do that, like, I totally understand that, and I've been there for most of my life, actually. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about some things you can do to help that. Um, but yeah, being your weird, quirky, nerdy self is exactly who you're supposed to be. Um, you know, there's only one of you. Like, you know, being yourself is what you're supposed to do. It's natural to you. So if anyone or anything is making you feel ashamed about being who you naturally are, then that has more to do with their own insecurities than it has to do with you. So yeah, so this all begins with self-love and self-acceptance. And I know that it's hard to um it's hard to have self-love and self-acceptance when you don't have it. It's hard to cultivate that self-love and self-acceptance when there's nothing but self-hatred and self criticism. I've been there myself. It's terrible. It's, you know, you feel like shit just for living. It's a bad state. Um yeah. So begins with self-love and self-acceptance. So you know, um I could tell you, just love yourself, just accept yourself. But as someone who has been there myself, it's a lot fucking harder than that, than just saying that. You know, easy to say that, but it's harder to do it. So, you know, you are the only thing you've got in this world. You are the only thing you've got in this world. And so, you know, your body is the only vehicle that you have in this world. It's like the only thing that you have in this world. Your soul is the only thing that you have in this world. And so, so when you love yourself, when you start by loving yourself in all of your crazy feelings, emotions, and everything, you'll start to feel better. You'll start to feel better. And it's like, you know, if you just accept that you are, you know, that you were sent here for a reason, that you know, you're here for a reason, and that, like, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you being you, at all, you know? So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if we can accept that we can't change ourselves, like, there is no changing you. There is no, you know, I mean, we can change how we feel about ourselves, but we can't change our very personality, the very essence of who we are. We can't change that. And so if we can just accept that we can't change that and start to learn how to love ourselves in like through our crazy feelings, through our crazy emotions, through our crazy, you know, personality and hopes, dreams, desires, things like that. Like, if we can love and accept ourselves through that, that'll go a long way. It really will. So so now we'll talk about others. So you need to decide between loving yourself and pleasing others. Because it's like if we, you know, we've got to love ourselves, and if we put others over ourselves, if we put pleasing others over over loving ourselves and caring for ourselves and you know, really taking care of ourselves, if we put others first, then we will put their thoughts about us, their feelings about us, and everything like that over our own own love for ourselves. And so their thoughts and feelings about us will take precedent, and we'll start thinking and feeling like they do about ourselves. And so this is a recipe for feeling shame, because, you know, and it's really true. The people who feel, who, like, are uncomfortable with other people being themselves, are really uncomfortable with themselves. In like, that's just what it is. It's true. They can't tolerate being themselves, so they can't tolerate you being yourself. And so that's how that works. Let me see. So yeah, you need to decide between loving yourself or pleasing others. And pleasing others doesn't necessarily guarantee you any kind of payback or like reward from it. It's just, we're programmed to please others in society. We're programmed to, go along to get along kind of thing, to not go against the grain kind of thing. Yeah, it's programmed in us in Western society. Hell, I mean in all societies, that's the way it is. So pleasing. I'll talk about a little bit about pleasing others. There's so if you were raised in a religious home, then you probably have shame around your sexuality and around being spiritual, or being like doing tarot or doing runes or things like that. So religious dogma has a lot to do with us, with shaming, with us feeling shame, with religious dogma shames us out of our basic human needs, like our sexual desires. Yeah, it really does. It says that those things are bad, which they aren't. There's nothing wrong with your sexuality. There's nothing wrong with you wanting what you want sexually. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Only thing wrong would be if you nothing wrong with wanting to hurt others, but if you actually act on that and do hurt others, that's the only thing that's wrong. Which most people, that's not what they want to do. So yeah, there's a lot of religious dogma that shames us out of being who we truly are. It shames us out of our sexuality. It shames us out of our own feelings and feelings about the world and things like that. Let's see. So yeah, really shames us out of our basic human needs. Like our sexual expression and things like that. Basic human needs like being who we truly are. So yeah, religious dogma is a huge influence in our shame, because basically religion, Christianity and Catholicism, that was all made up by the quote unquote elite, if you wanted to call them that. It was a made up religion. It was a made up religion to basically shame us out of doing what we want, doing out of being who we truly are. You have to, the saying in Christianity that we were all born in sin. Well, that's such a That's such bullshit. I I really hate Christianity. Um, yeah, it's full of lies and things to get you to feel shame, basically, to feel shame for even who you are. It says that you were born into sin. So the fact that you were even born basically means that you are bad, that you're sinful, that you should be ashamed for even being born. That's what they're really saying in that. That it might not come across as that way, it might not sound like that, but that's really what they're saying. You should be ashamed for even being born. You should be ashamed for having your sexuality. You should be ashamed for having the feelings that you have. You should be ashamed for practicing the spiritual practices that you practice. Things like that. Like, it's all full of shit. It's all full of bullshit, basically. And so, yeah. So yeah, Christianity is basically all bullshit. It's meant to suppress who you are. It's meant to suppress your light. You know how it's funny in the Bible they say don't hide your light under a bush. You know, you want to stand it on a pillar high for all to see. But basically, really, what they're doing is they're they're putting out putting out the light of everybody who follows them. You know, they're basically putting all the lights of the Christians under a bush and, snuffing them out. So that's what they're doing, actually, really. So Christianity is toxic. Christianity is more toxic than you would think. And it all seems like, like love and light. It all seems like, whatever. I mean, so let's talk about this. God is a narcissist. He says, if you love me, you'll do everything that I command to the letter. And, and if you hate me, if you hate me, you won't do everything that I say to the letter, or don't do everything that I say to the letter. Well, it's basically like, if you make one little mistake, you hate God and God hates you, kind of thing. So it's like it's narcissism. God is a narcissist. He, everything is about him. So yeah, well, I'll just move on because I think I beat a dead horse there. So yeah. So yeah, if you ever come across someone who shames you, or maybe it's a family member or a friend, or a member of your church, or whatever it is, really, they shame you because they're insecure about themselves. They're insecure about themselves, and they're not brave enough to be, to be secure in themselves, basically. They're not brave enough to be themselves. They're not brave enough to let their light shine. So, yeah. So I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back. Just a second. So yeah, what was I saying? So when people shame you, it's because they're insecure about themselves, and they're not brave enough to be who they truly are. And so since they shame themselves out of being who they are, and they're living to please others, they expect you to do the same. And so it frightens them. It really frightens them when you are being your authentic self. And so they'll try to shame you out of that. Yeah, so but that's more their problem. That's their problem. That's not your problem. You know, if anybody is trying to shame you out of being yourself, out of having the natural interests and things like that you naturally have, you know, that's their problem. That's not your problem. And so you've got to be brave. You've got to be brave, and you've got to let your light shine. You've got to let your light shine. You've got to put your light on, on the pole, or whatever the hell the Christians say. Yeah. Yeah, let your light shine. And you've got to be unapologetically you. Don't. It's hard. It's hard to, it's hard to stand up for yourself, and it's hard to not people please, but yeah, it's something that you'll have to work through, and I'm still working through it. I'm still going through it. So, it's all, life is a journey. So, and nobody has reached the finish line. Nobody has reached perfection. So it's just all you have to do really. The only thing that your soul wants from you is to be yourself and to follow your highest joy. So, yeah. So follow your highest joy, and that's like the one and only commandment. You know how the Christians have the 10 commandments. Well, your soul only has one, and that is follow the commands of your soul. Follow your highest joy. Your soul gives you hints about what it wants you to do by giving you joy. By giving you joy when you think about doing things, and so that's your sign to do that thing, to go ahead and do that thing. Do what you want to do what your soul commands you. So yeah, it's, if you just do that, that's going to be powerful for you. So guys, let me see how we are. Yeah, we're about 30 minutes. So yeah, guys, if you want to know how I changed my life, how I turned my life around, it was by doing this practice right here. The Self-Transformation Challenge. It's very powerful. And so, if you want to go on there, and, it has a bunch of practices that you can do. It has really changed my life. And most of the change came from internal shifts in my thinking, in my emotions, in my my self-hatred. I had like intense self-hatred before, and I wanted to die. Was I was in a really bad state. I was very unhappy. And so, but, you know, I realized I came down to this planet for a reason, and I have to let my light shine. I have to let my light shine. I have to share what I have to share with you guys, and part of my light shining is doing this, sharing this practice with you. This is a very powerful practice. And so, you know, bottom line is to overcome shame and guilt. You've got to let your light shine, and you've got to love yourself. You know, love yourself for, you know, for being who you are. Love yourself in your imperfections. Love yourself in your uncomfortable feelings. Love yourself in your unhappiness, in your depression, in your despair. Decide that you're going to love yourself through it. Because you came to this world for a reason. You really did. And so you've got to find your special gift. Find your special talent, find your special ability, you know, even if it's just speaking to people. Find that and go out and do it. You know, share your gift. Share your gift with the world. Share your light with the world. And yeah, that's what I'm trying to do here. And you know, some parts of myself I'm very uncomfortable with still. And yeah, it's just gotta love yourself through it. Gotta love myself through it. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I'll talk to you later. Peace. And you know, love yourself. Peace.